各位观众朋友，大家好，欢迎再次收听史麦微Show之 Podcast。今天呢，我们终于3位合体了 ，Susan 跟 Hazie。那如同我们在大概1-2个月前在高雄认识，那今天我们是转战来到这个台南的那个塑形录音室，也顺便帮我们人前的广告一下这几个后收仔，这个 studio 呢，让我们感觉很 cozy。好，回到我们今天的要跟大家聊的话题，叫做 career。年轻人呢，现在世代这个年轻人，我们不知道他们在想什么。但是在节目开播之前，我跟Susan聊一下。Susan 26 right?
Yes.
哇，Susan 跟我聊了很多他们这个世代的想法。我甚至跟Susan说很大言不惭的说，给我们现在年轻人一个advice 或是 suggestion。Susan 说他们需要吗？这一句话真的是打醒了我啊！真的史麦太倚老卖老了。OK， 好，所以废话不多说，我们就进入我们的话题。OK， 我们这个话题是 career。career 很多年轻人他们在台湾受教育，就是开始很多的升学嘛、考试嘛、补习嘛，尤其史麦在经营补习班。那当然我自己也不是很喜欢这样的方式，所以我的补习班经营方式会跟大部分补习班不太一样。好，我今天早上才看了一本书，我忘记那个作者了。Content is king。Context is God， 就是内容呢很重要，但是 context 那个情境、那个氛围、那个 vibe 很重要。所以史麦美提供给孩子的学习的情境跟氛围呢，甚至是动力呢是不一样的。我提供了很多情绪价值，先让他喜欢，他就会慢慢把我们所提供的内容去吸收，愿意去吸收，而不会去排斥它。好，那学了那么多东西，也拿到学历的，总是要进入那个叫 market。那这时候找工作，很多人他学非所用，大学的科系未必是他毕业后找工作的那个内容或跟他相关，这个时候就出现难题了。我相信我们很多年轻人就是会遇到这个问题。史麦本身就是，我大学学的是商，但是我却教了30年的英文了。在这当中，其实有没有后悔 ？No, I pretty much enjoy my teaching career. So what about you, Susan?
Well, I would say because I'm the youngest, I only start working 3 years. But okay, about career is a really good question because a lot of students, when they graduate, they tend to change their job quite quickly in my generation. And I was like that as well. Probably after 1 year of working, I already feel like I want to quit. But I don't think the reason is very deep enough, and I really appreciate my boss asked me to stay for a while. My company doesn't have that much of a it's not a bad working environment. It's more about me wanting to, I can stay in one place for a while. But I'm pretty glad I did stay there for 3 years because I don't think if I only stay there for 1 year, I would have that deep vision toward my industry. So I think it's kind of important that if you luckily meet a really good working environment, you probably need to stay there longer than 1 year, like at least 2 years, 3 years is the best, because there are a lot of things that could be developed, and it needs to be developed in time, actually. Yeah.
Okay. What about yourself? You want to quit a job to change another channel or another?
Yeah. I mean, at some point I will. I have no answer in my mind right now.
So far, right?
Yeah, but probably 5 or 6 years later, I definitely want to start my own career.
Oh, yeah.
But right now, it's either lucky enough to go travel, or I could, get developed with other industry, like other design field, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, right before we get started this episode, you just shared with me, young people, they don't like to stay in the same place. Unlike my generation, ultimate goal is to buy a house, car, something like that.
There's a story I could share with that because my profession is landscape architect, and our project, we need to finish a park, right? And actually that takes 1 year to finish it.
Yep.
And it's really hard for the younger generation to do that because they want to see the result immediately. So they tend to join other industries like exhibition or interior design so they could see their result within 3 months or whatever. But I don't think that's a good part because a really good quality things always take time. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's true. That's so true. Just like you said, probably you are too young to figure out what you exactly want.
Me?
Yeah.
Maybe, I'm not sure.
But that's good for you, you know.
Yeah,
you like
yeah,
to,
yeah.
being abroad for, to see different, part of the world, like Hazie, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, Hazie from UK. What about you? Your career playing or what you are doing? What do you do for a living?
Yeah, interesting. So just like you guys just touched upon, the previous generation in the UK would perhaps start a job at 16 years old, let's say, and continue that same career for their whole lifetime, perhaps. But nowadays, it's like Susan mentioned, the younger generation is much more diverse. People will change jobs, change career. And for me personally as well, although I studied psychology at university, I went on to be an English teacher, and now I'm a software developer, learning AI, artificial intelligence, and now want to start my own business. I guess the vision, the idea of career is different now. It's more about developing skills and thinking about your dream or what kind of lifestyle you want to live.
Exactly.
This is the kind of thing I'm personally working on, and I think others in the similar generation to me are also focusing more on this mindset rather than trying to find a stable career.
Yeah.
Have you ever worked for anyone?
A job?
Yeah.
Yes, I had 3 jobs before. An English teacher for 1 year, 1.5 years in South Korea, and then 2 years in 2 different companies. I worked as a software developer.
All right. And
in
the
a big
reason for
tech team.
Okay, the reason to quit the job is
Actually, for the tech jobs, the software developer, both companies kind of run out of money, so they fire everybody.
it's not your
50%,
problem.
yeah. But
You're kind of be there off.
Yeah, it's very shocking. They call you into a meeting and say, today is your last day, or this week is your last week. And I feel, why did I work so hard for them to finish this project, give them this product, which they will now use, but they fire me. So they have my work, they can use it, but I'm no longer part of the company to benefit from this anymore. So that's what triggered me to feel like, why do I work so hard and put my energy, my creative ideas, and basically sell my energy to them?
Exactly.
They just pay me for my time and energy, but then I don't get the real result from that.
Okay.
So now I'm focusing, like you mentioned, to start my own business and hopefully grow this way instead.
All right. And how was your business now?
Almost ready to launch.
Almost ready.
Ready to
Wow,
launch.
launching.
Yeah.
We can't wait to see that.
Can you share more?
So I'm working on making a linen clothing business, which should be sustainable because linen is an eco-friendly material, and the business model is rather than mass-producing inventory, I'm going to make each item upon order. So each item is made to order. So you can get a tailor-made, custom size.
Oh, tailor-made,
customized.
Customized.
And so since I've already worked in various fields and I think I've got the skills, I've started to make the website by myself, take the photos by myself with a tripod or collaborate with friends, and making the marketing materials myself. And this dress I'm wearing right now is one of my designs. Last week I went to Taipei and joined an event called the Suit Walk, where people walk around in suits, take photos, share information, networking. And it was very affirming to be there because many people asked to take my photo. And they recognize the inspiration behind my designs. They compliment the material. They say, it looks like 1950s, which is exactly my inspiration. So I feel confident that it will pick up.
Wow. We can imagine.
So at first I thought it's a crazy idea to make my own business out of nothing. But then I thought, but life is short, right? So if you don't try, then you don't know. And what have I got to lose except if, let's say, it doesn't progress very far, the business is not so successful. I've already learned so much, and I haven't even launched yet. So my resume will only be stronger.
You pretty much enjoy the process,
exactly.
right?
Learning a lot. To learn everything across the business, not only my role, but all the other roles involved.
All right. Now you are just one man, like a one-man company.
Yeah.
In the future, is that possible for you to employ more?
Absolutely,
partners?
I would love to. So right now, the term is solopreneur, like entrepreneur, but solo female entrepreneur. Cool, right? Sounds cool, right?
Transition period of time.
Yeah,
so
but
far.
when I visited Vietnam, which is where I got the connections to manufacture the dresses, I met some very reliable and kind, interesting people who I would really like to onboard into my business. They can help me to do some communication or something like that later on. I would love to be in the position to hire somebody. That would be very, very inspiring. It would be good.
All right. 好，以上是我们Susan跟我们Hazie呢，他们这个时代呢，针对他们这个时代的对工作的看法。那Susan有提到他自己也曾经待过几个公司，但是他想法不会想要一直待在那边那么久。
没有，我待过一间而已啊。
一间 ，sorry，
这个听错。I say,
My bad.
yeah, I say that because I just
那
start
是
working.
那是那个Hazie， 对不对
Yeah, that's Hazie. I just start working. I mean, I
因为
have
他刚毕业3
multiple.
年嘛，对不对
Yeah, I have
工作3
multiple job. It's not like it's my only job, but so far it's the only company I stay.
By the way, you got a part-time job, right? Would you like to share
Yeah.
that part with us?
Oh, sure. I mean, I also teach English to a couple of students, and I also work with the funeral company. Yeah, I help them to manage their fan page, and sometimes I go to the funeral to take picture for them. Yeah.
也是斜杠。
It's very, very different. I mean, who would thought of that? Thought of that? A
How can you
funeral
switch?
company. Switch?
就是那个新进工作
Oh,
different content.
I don't think
different
there's
job.
much to switch, be honest. Yeah,
Just
like
be yourself.
I think my
do your
working
job.
flow is like I just work, I just see how things go. If that things pop up, I just figure out what to do.
Follow
Yeah.
the opportunity.
Yeah, just follow the opportunity. Just don't put so many questions, just do it. Yeah.
So okay, well, maybe that's the way young people in your generation to deal with things, right? Unlike us.
Oh, funny things to ask. If you are being asked to work for the funeral company and you need to join a funeral, and if you see the body there, would you do any protein like processed after the whole thing to get rid of, Chinese would say like
I
bad
know.
luck? Would
So-
you do that?
Yeah, I'll do that. Kind of like rituals.
Yeah, because that's what my mom told me when she know that I joined the funeral company. Like she was really panicked. Like, oh, did you put some tree leaves in your pocket to, let go of the
Wow.
some bad fortune? Like, did you do that? Did you clean your hand? Yeah.
Wow,
And-
interesting. Of course, we don't have these practices
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
UK.
Yeah, and I said no, and she asked how about the other employees, and I said they also don't because they deal with that every single day. Yeah.
Is that just your personal psychological reaction?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I feel like it's work, so there's no need for
It
me.
works.
Yeah, there's no need for me to, done something like that, and everybody gonna die eventually. So
Oh, yeah.
I'm not really a believer toward that.
You're not doing anything to offend,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
so-called something that you can't see with our eyes.
Yeah.
Something like that.
It's natural, right?
Yeah, it's natural.
Nature. All right. Maybe, that kind of very traditional practice has been rooted deeply in my mind. So I'll follow the, rituals. So
Yeah,
so
yeah.
If I don't do that, I feel something wrong.
Yeah, I bet you would.
Like, my mom, she just got discharged from the hospital. Yeah. And especially when I pay a night visit to my mom-in-law in the hospital. Yeah, so we should bring something like that, to get off, that's something bad or
Yeah,
evil
yeah.
or haunted you, something like that. So, yeah, I would rather. I got nothing to lose.
Yeah, I think it's a personal choice, and if you
It
believe
is.
in it, then it's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's quite interesting. Okay.
Yeah, interesting.
Okay, get back to our topic. Would you like to ask any questions?
Any questions?
Yeah.
How about you share more, because you mentioned that your teacher have been facing some problem dealing with the younger generation, like dealing how they work spirit. So what is the obstacle that you have met during like dealing with the young ones?
My younger teachers, it's kind of extreme. Yeah, some of them are fine with that, and some of them are not really okay. But I respect their own choices. Yeah, they want to quit, or they want to, at the same time, have a different part-time jobs, even including one of part-time jobs is working here. But as long as you do your best, you are not late for work, and you teach the kids well, or in a
Good attitude.
good attitude, that will be fine. I don't care how many part-time job you moonlight at the same time. Yeah. But we mentioned about one. Few of my teachers, younger teachers, they don't like to. Even you share with me, they don't like to get on the social media to know what happened to their friends or something like that, because they have kind of lower
self-esteem.
Yeah, something like that. Why people can keep, going abroad for sightseeing or further study, anything, or they have their own sports car or something at a very young age. Blah, 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 blah. Kind of feel unfair. The society, treat me. I was born of a ordinary or even poor family, something like that. So I already lost the game right before I get started to play the game. So they have that kind of attitude. So they turn it off. They shut down their social media. However, gradually they would change their mind and they started work so hard and going to graduate school. Some of them still kept in contact with me. And I know they studied in Japan for almost a year. She moved back to Taiwan already, and she also have something coming with Hazie. Like cosplay, and they design something like that. So I follow their IG. They are doing quite well. But it's just a period of time, for people. Life is full of upside downs. But gradually, I think they are doing well. So far. So I'll do my best to encourage them. But as you say, or I just said. We cannot change anyone's mindset.
Yeah, that's true.
They have their own way to go, and nobody can. Even my own kids, right? I cannot be on half of them, and I gotta respect their own choice. Like my oldest daughter, she's flying to Philippines next year, this winter break, and she get everything organized, and I don't have to worry about her. So she's quite independent. I think nowadays kids, are so independent. But I know as an owner of crime school, I see many different stories of families. They have a lot of argue or fights just because the parents, they don't want to let go of their kids. They want to control, interfere with their kids' future, something like that. It's not my problem. But I see a lot of problems like that. But I do my best to help them. Otherwise, they would turn out like my young teachers. They would turn out like that. They have argued with their parents. My mom, my dad want me to be an engineer, want me to be a doctor, blah, 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 blah. So what about you, Susan or Hazie? Have ever your parents dominated your future or influence your decision? Especially influential one, fundamental one.
I would say my parents is a lot more free mind than the other, but still, probably when I was in high school, they kind of don't want me to study because I want to study theater design during that time, and they really don't want me to do that because it's a job that's sort of the dead end. Well, eventually I didn't get in, but I do fight with them for a while because they really want me to study architect. And either ways, I end up being in the landscape architect, which is different. Right now, I'm quite glad my mom gave me quite free space for me to develop stuff, to be honest.
That's good for you.
But I would say because I have a more carefree mind, if my mom or my dad don't really give a shit about me. But if my mom really stop me or say I just be quiet, I just don't share. Like there's no need for her to know.
Because she worry about you?
She will worry about it. And I know there's not gonna be that much of a dangerous, I would say. So she just don't have to know.
I think as a parent, always have that mindset.
I mean, if I have kid, I will be like that.
If we can put ourselves in their position, in their shoes, we can understand, we can empathize with them. What about you, Hazie?
I think, my parents, compared to parents in Taiwan, my mom always said, whatever you do, we'll be proud of you. If you try your best, then it's okay.
Encourage.
But
Encourage you, that's right.
They never tried to influence what career I chose. If I wanted to study theater design or like arts, they would have probably supported me with that as well. But there was definitely some influence from them. They really held, like, if I got a good grade in science or mathematics, they were much more proud and positive in this. Like, they respect these subjects more. I think this kind of maybe unconscious to them. They're much more proud of me to achieve something more academic. But they did support me they took me to many activities like swimming, dancing, various activities. So I think they just want me to try many things, learn many skills, not only academic, but social skills, creative skills. And I'm grateful for that because now I've come out quite, like, I think I had quite enriched childhood, full of many activities, and I feel like I have the freedom to choose whatever life path I plan to go down.
Since you have a memory, in retrospect, your parents never treat you like you're a part of them, you belong to them,
No, I don't think so. No,
you are an independent individual, right?
Completely. But I would say my parents are especially relaxed compared to other British. They're even more relaxed than my classmates and my friends. They're very relaxed, very open-minded, relaxed. I remember my parents told me before they had children, they made an agreement that they wouldn't try to influence us with their own views of the world. For example, being vegetarian. Both my parents are vegetarian, but I didn't know this until I was 10 years old because they didn't discuss it. They just served some meat products at the table, but they would eat something else. They didn't really tell me their views until I was around 8 or 9 years old. I started to decide by myself, and now I'm vegetarian since that point. But my sisters continue to eat meat, and my parents never judged them, questioned them, or pushed them in any way. Never, not once.
Lucky you.
It's really good. They give you option and they give you opportunity to think about you want to be in that character or not.
Exactly. And other example is like topics like LGBT and political things. They've never told us like we should vote like this or we should support this. They never told. But me and both my sisters, I would say we're all very liberal, open-minded, accepting people. So I think they did it the right way, I guess. But just to let us go down our path, make our own mistakes, and we'll come to the right place, and they will support us to be there. Maybe they'll question us if we say something controversial. Say, why do you think like that? Or are you sure that's the right?
Is that a criticize? But they just ask you, right?
My dad is particularly good at that. Whatever your opinion is, he will always take the opposite. You know, just to question you, and sometimes it's annoying. You're like, but I know you share my beliefs. So why are you trying to challenge me?
He wants to train in your mind.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So sometimes it's like, oh, just leave me alone. But mostly it's a good exercise, right? You should always think about the other perspective, even if you think, oh yeah, of course I'm right about this topic. It's good to always have a flexible mind. So
that's good.
Actually, I do think about, joining or learning different stuff when you were young, because couple of days, this just come out in my mind, because when I went to America, I do study theater design. But I know that right now it's not a career I do. But sometimes it's not really about you will be a professional about it. I mean, we learn dancing, we learn swimming, we learn piano. Like, sometimes it's not about you be the professional of it. It's more about you becoming a fun person to let people like you. Yeah, and I found out that's something that assisted me a lot, because it gave me the characteristic to make people remember me. Yeah, and I could create more opportunity, whatever it is, friend opportunity, job opportunity, that I have a lot more mindset to talk about different topic with people. So I do believe that learning with different stuff is really not about you learn that sometimes. It's actually more about, you could get involved with different people. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Okay.
Small things that maybe communicate more, like acting more like a Western family would avoid fight between members. But do you really believe that? Or actually having a more free-minded family environment create another problem as well?
Yeah, interesting question. Of course, solving one problem doesn't solve every problem, and I'd say we fight. Of course, we still fight about different things. Yeah, and it's a good question, because I talked to Smile about this on the previous recording that we did. One of my sisters, maybe my parents were too liberal and too free with her, because now she works in the supermarket part-time, very few hours a week, but she has no real dream or desire, and is quite nervous and doesn't really want to engage with the world. She has a very negative perspective of the world and kind of blames the world for that. Yeah. And my parents do their best to support her, but they never push her to get a different career, or she's dropped out of university and things like this. And although I've come out of university,
push
I'm
her?
doing a master's degree and I'm pursuing my own thing. And like I discussed with Smile last time, I decided not to push her as well because she has her own path to walk and I can't really push her and influence her. I just try to be more like a encouragement and inspiration. But I do think perhaps if my parents push her, maybe she would have a career now and some sort of stable life and more successful. But whether she'd be more happy or not, I don't know. But so I think there's definitely a different problem has come from having more liberal parents.
Yeah, I think because not just about families, like let's just say the Western world are more liberal, but actually I feel like because in the Eastern we work as a group. So
collectivism.
Collectivism.
So you actually could take care of different personality as well. So I'm not sure am I right here, but in the Western world maybe that everyone is liberal and specific one is really cool and they're just focusing on them, but there's still a lot of like other ones with different groups as well. And maybe in Asian like people are more peaceful as well. I would say that. I don't know if you agree on that.
I think so.
Eastern people like to endure. They don't like to cause a conflict. They're afraid to break the peace.
I have a funny story to share because I was at a bar with a European a couple of days ago, and right now Taiwan is really popular with the cartoon called 吉卡娃. Yeah, and then we tend to put the doll inside a bag to carry a
keychain, right?
Carry that with us. And I tried to explain that to that European guy, and then he actually told me that's the reason why he liked to be in Asia, because I saw that was with another guy and he's a straight guy, and he told me that if a European done that would be totally gay. And it's possible that people will bully him.
Guy, right? They would think it's somehow feminine to have some cute things on their back.
But definitely not in Taiwan.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's the thing that he said that's why he likes things about us. He thinks it's 可爱. So I think it's quite positive.
What do you think?
It's kind of that area of talking about gender and femininity, and definitely in the West there's this idea, maybe toxic masculinity is the right word here. I think it's gone to the point where if you're kind or show emotion or show some sort of femininity is gay. You're labeled very quickly. But I think there's a conversation about it now. People are talking about it, and perhaps it will reverse. But it's true. If you walk around with a Chikawa key ring in the UK, people will wonder is it from your child? Is it your girlfriend's bag? People might wonder, but I think we should all go to the UK and put Chikawa on our
it's cute.
key rings until the culture has changed. So it's cute,
So I think the conclusion is human beings differed. We just need to respect. We don't have to put a tag or label, say he's a gay or he's not or something like that. Just respect. There's no right from wrong about the personal style to show him or herself. 我的结论就是 we don't have to we can't change anyone, no, but ourselves. That's it. And what we can do is just encourage and put up with them, endure, as long as they don't invade our personal, private life. 那就够了. For example, if it's your dearest family member or friend, they want to borrow money from you, blah, 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 you got to, 那就到时候再说吧，对不对? So you still have set up a very clear boundary. So there's nothing we can do about it, right? Because I don't want to get involved in your life too much, but at the same time, if you walk your own pace, right? You got to be responsible for what you choose. 就这样，我觉得人都要去为自己负责，对。All right, 所以西方的父母亲比较让孩子早一点独立，东方的家长比较喜欢去介入，因为他们认为孩子视如己出，你是我生命的一部分，你永远都是我的孩子，你哪怕你已经当爸妈了，你还是会想要去忍不住去关心他们一下，哪怕是练个2句。 好，那拉里拉扎的我们这一集呢，就也是告了一段落，我们要结束这个话题。那很开心，今天呢，我们刚开始就讲到我们的缘分起于高雄，但是呢，短暂的缘分在台南因为本来是我们今天计划要来跟 Hazie see off，那想说来到这个地方，不如我们再聊一聊，那也顺便可以跟我们的听众呢、麦粉们呢，能够有机会再更了解我们这个年轻世代，还有来自 UK 的 Hazie， 他们可以带给我们的什么样的想法，让我们有一些脑力激荡，还有心里的一些回想。希望我们这一集呢，对我们的听众朋友都有帮助。谢谢你们的收听 ，Susan Hazie， 我们跟我们听众朋友说再见，拜拜，
拜拜
Thank you. Bye
Thank
bye.
you.
See you next time.